Second baseman, Ian Walker.
The ball game, those fields that we've been playing on down in Arizona for the last month, this should make the guys feel right at home. All the Cactus League fields, because of the sun down there in the Valley of the Sun, it gets very baked out, very hard. The ball tends to shoot through the infield, so Mike Quade feels his team is well prepared to take the field here today on a fast track.
Andrew McCutchen drills this one into the alley. Off the track, then the wall. Bird will get it back in, but McCutchen has a double. He's poised for a really big year. He hit .348 in spring training. And there's a reason he's batting third in their lineup.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Cub fans will know the damage that Andrew McCutchen did against them last season. Very quick bat, finds that gap in left center field. Fortunately, 2 outs in the inning. Ryan Dempster with an opportunity perhaps to pitch around the veteran Lyle Overbay and go after Pedro Alvarez hitting after him.
Overbay spent the last 5 years with the Toronto Blue Jays. You know him pretty well. What's the scouting report on Lyle Overbay?
Real good gap-to-gap hitter. He's a very patient hitter. He usually sees a lot of pitches every at-bat. He does have pull power to right field if he gets something from the middle of the plate in, but generally he's a gap-to-gap line drive hitter.
Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2.
Good off-speed pitch by Ryan Dempster. Good movement. Starts at the bottom of the strike zone. Ends up nearly in the dirt to get the swinging strike.
Pitch Tracks brought to you by Xfinity. Starting to rain a little bit harder here. Crowd wants a strikeout. 0-2 pitch. They get it. So Dempster has his splitter working well here early on. The Cubs are coming up. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Kosuke Fukudome leads it off. Starlin Castro, the youngest Cubs opening day starter since Ken Hubbs in 1962. Bird, the all-star last year. Ramirez cleans up. Carlos Pena, the newest Cub. Soto catches. Soriano batting 7th in left. Darwin Barney getting his first opening day start on his first opening day roster. And Ryan Dempster hits 9th.
Quick look at the Pirates defensively. Jose Tabata, Andrew McCutchen, Garrett Jones across the outfield, Pedro Alvarez, Ronnie Cedeno on the left side, Neil Walker and Lyle Overbay on the right side. Ryan Doman making his 4th opening day start for the Pirates behind the plate, and he'll be receiving pitches from right-hander Kevin Correa.
And his first offering is a fastball at 88 for a strike. He went 10-10 last year with the San Diego Padres. Signed a 2-year contract in December. Lifted in the air, pretty well hit, but it's going to be caught on the warning track by McCutchen. So Fukudome is out on 2 pitches.
A very unusual day here, at least for the start, Len. You mentioned the light rain that we're dealing with right now. Very cloudy, cool afternoon, but the flags are slightly blowing out, which is a condition you don't see here at Wrigley very often when it's this cold.
Castro had a big spring. Hit .348. Last year, at age 20, he hit .300. I would say he looks more relaxed than last year, but he looked pretty relaxed in his major league debut when he knocked in 6. Hit hard, and it's going to get away from Walker, and rather Alvarez, and that'll be a base hit for Castro. Ball was hit hard. Alvarez got a glove on it, but that's it.
Well, the reason Starlin Castro looks so relaxed is because he's on a baseball field, and that's where he feels his most comfortable. Just scalds that ball down to Pedro Alvarez at third base, who, as you mentioned, got a glove on it, but couldn't corral it.
That sets it up for Marlon Byrd, who dealt with a bit of a stiff back at the end of spring training, but is not going to keep him out of the lineup today. And Correa will check on Castro. The Cubs didn't run a whole lot in spring training, and when they did, they weren't terribly successful. And Mike Quaddy admitted last week, he said, you know what, why force it? Let's be smart. Let's run the bases intelligently. I think Bob Dernier would just like to see guys like Castro at least be a threat to steal.
Yeah, you talked about the stolen bases in spring training. Only 15 attempts by the Cubs, 7 successful stolen bases, and 4 of those stolen bases are by guys who are back in minor league camp at this point. Starlin Castro led the ball club in the Cactus League with 2 stolen bases.
One-0 pitch. Bird hits it foul off to the right.
Now, all that being said, if you're going to run, this would appear to be the team to run against. Ryan Doumit behind home plate, very much an offense-oriented catcher. Only threw out 6 of 74 base runners last year. That's 8%.
Chris Snyder would have been the opening day catcher, but he's on the DL with a sore back. That is a fair ball backhanded by Alvarez, and a high throw hits the tarp. Castro on his way to third, and Ivan De Jesus is going to send him. Throw to the plate. He's saved. So the Cubs take advantage of the error on the throw by Alvarez.
There's that smart, aggressive base running that you were talking about. Starlin Castro did not assume anything on this chopper to third base. Alvarez got to it in pretty good shape. His throw was high. Overbay just didn't get up there high enough to knock that ball down, and you can see it rolls all the way out into the bullpen. By the time Overbay's able to run it down, Starlin Castro has hustled around the bag at third and scored the first run of the season. Nice going.
And a good first inning for Castro, the defensive play, and then the base running gem. Now Ramos, the former Pirate. Ending ball foul. Like bounced back in the second half, led the team in homers and RBIs, but I think he's a huge key, if not the key guy in this offense. Into right, going to hold up for Garrett Jones. 2 down.
You know, Len, one thing that leads to smart, aggressive base running is running. Yeah, so often guys see a misplay and they just assume I'm going to go 90 more feet and stop there. But Starlin Castro came around the bag at third. Ivan De Jesus was waving him on into home plate. And because he was running the whole way, he was able to score.
A nice hand for Carlos Pena, making his Cub debut. Signed a 1-year contract over the winter.
And I don't care how many years you have in the big leagues or what you've accomplished as a major league player. Opening day with a new ball club is always a special situation. I'm sure his heart is going about 100 miles an hour right now.
Carlos, born in the Dominican Republic, went to high school in Massachusetts, went to Northeastern University. Silver Slugger winner in 07. Gold Glover in 08, an All-Star in 09. He's averaged 36 homers per year the last 4. One-0 pitch. Ball 2. He should be in a lot of counts like this because he has a good eye at the plate.
Tremendous pull power to right center and right field. However, he has power to all parts of the ballpark. He put on quite a show in batting practice today, driving pitch after pitch up into the bleachers in left center field.
Cubs getting an unearned run here in the first inning. Not done yet. 2-1. Those fans came prepared.
I'm not going to make fun of anybody's headgear today. Anything to keep the dome warm.
3-1. Soto on deck. It was a little warmer, but the Cubs had one bad weather day in Arizona. It was a couple weeks ago, cool and rainy, and Carlos Pena hit a home run against the Angels. The game was washed out, so it didn't count. As he draws the walk. But I'm glad we got underway today, because it might rain like this for a while, but it's not raining hard enough to stop the game. By all indications, we should be able to play through it for a while.
I'm sure it'll be a busy day for Roger Barrett and his ground crew with this steady, drizzly rain. At some point, we're going to see some of that diamond dry out there, especially on the mound and in the area around home plate.
Giovanni Soto takes a strike. Fourth opening day start. Kick in the pitch. Good cut, and he fouled it back into the upper deck.
We should point out before we get much deeper into this game, Kevin Correa, a 4-pitch pitcher, has a good fastball in the low 90s. He'll try to cut it, he'll sink it. Throws a curve, a slider, and a changeup, although he basically relies on his fastball and his slider.
No, that is not Todd Wellemeyer. Just looks like it. Wellemeyer back in the Cubs organization. 0-2 breaking ball outside. Correa, 30 years old, 6'3", 200 pounds. He'll have a lefty on the mound tomorrow, Paul Maholm, against Carlos Zambrano.
Yeah, some unusual splits for Kevin Correa last year. Right-handers hit 290 against him. Lefties only 248. That's usually an indication he's got a pretty good straight changeup.
Popped up by Gio right side. This is over Bay. The shallow right, and that's the inning. The Cubs get an unearned run and lead 1-0. Guests every game join celebrities, Cubs legends, and Chicago's top executives with season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago. Your membership includes high-end catering, a top-shelf bar, and VIP parking. Climate-controlled seating guarantees your comfort any time of year. For information, contact the Premier Sales Team, 773-404-4200 or Cubs.com/suites. Opening day 2011, Cubs 1, Pirates nothing. Unearned tally in the first inning. Pedro Alvarez, the third baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second overall pick in the 2008 draft out of Vanderbilt. He's only 24. Felt pretty comfortable in these colors. Similar to what Vanderbilt wears. Still with underhand toss to Pena. Here comes Ryan Doman. Bob, more bad news for the St. Louis Cardinals. Matt Holliday is going to have an appendectomy, emergency appendectomy tomorrow. It's usually a few weeks.
An emergency appendectomy, but they're waiting till tomorrow.
Well, I guess it's not an emergency.
Oh, okay.
It usually is. When you need to have it, you have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, oh, it's today. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Today's Friday, yes.
All day.
My days are all messed up. Yes. So he will have the surgery today. It's more bad news for a team without their ace pitcher all year, Adam Wainwright.
Guys obviously borrowed their girlfriend's umbrella.
Torment pops it up. Darwin Barney. We are email accessible. You want to remind me what day of the week it is? It's Len and Bob at Tribune.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Don't you shop for umbrellas at Victoria's Secret?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Well, I don't have to tell you, once we get into the season, the days of the week kind of blend together.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually it happens later than opening day, but
an opening day on a Friday.
Yeah, that's
a first. Garrett Jones takes a strike, basically in a platoon with Matt Diaz, the former Brave. He hits right-handed.
Well, this is a guy the Cubs would definitely like to contain all season long because he did a lot of damage for the Buccos last year. Hit .364 with 4 home runs and 16 runs driven in only 15 ball games against the Cubs. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone.
Fouled it back. For Matt Diaz, he may occasionally play against right-handed starters, but he probably doesn't like seeing the Cubs on the schedule because they have 5 righties. Sure, he likes to see those teams come into Pittsburgh with 2 or 3 lefties in their rotation. What it does mean is that he's going to get a lot of James Russell and John Graybo and Sean Marshall. See that number 7 on the right sleeve of the Pirates jerseys. Chuck Tanner passed away at age 82 in February, so they are honoring the World Series winning manager from 1979. Jones flies out, 4 in a row retired by Dempster, and it's 1-0 Cubs early.
WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escapes, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
We like more.
We love more.
Great to have you with us. Opening day. 1 strike to Alfonso Soriano. Beginning year number 5 as a Chicago Cub. We got a nice note from former Cub lefty Glendon Rush checking us out today. Still a lefty.
Oh, yeah.
Former Cub. One and 2 to Soriano. He's hitting 7th. Darwin Barney and then Ryan Dempster against the right-hander Correa. Easy play for Overbay. Now Darwin Barney. What a great story he is. He went into spring training as a guy who was a bubble guy roster-wise. There was no guarantee he was going to even make the team, and here he is starting at second base.
And you'd have to say he earned it, Len. He didn't have anything handed to him. He went into camp, as you said, as a bubble guy. Questionable whether he would even make the team, and he just went out and made all the plays, was always in the right spot, ran the bases intelligently, and swung the bat well. Earned his job.
First Cub rookie to start at second on opening day since Manny Trio in 1975. And according to Elias, there's a strike, 1-1. One of 2 rookies on the roster. Right-hander Marcos Mateo is the other. Shows bunt and takes a breaker for a strike, 1-2.
I like the fact that Darwin Barney is at least thinking about that. He took a peek down to Pedro Alvarez at third base, who was playing extremely deep, as was Lyle Overbay over at first base. He decided that breaking ball was too close to the edge of the strike zone and took it for a called strike, but now we'll go to battle against Correa with 2 strikes. Xfinity pitch tracks just off the inside corner there.
A base hit to right. He's going to punch that ball the other way.
Yeah, you hear hitters talk about their 2-strike defensive swing. That's a perfect example right there. A nasty breaking ball was working its way down below the knees off the outside corner, and Darwin Barney just reached out across the plate, slapped it into right field for a 2-strike base hit.
We'll see if Dempster tries to bunt him into scoring position. 74 career sack hits, 16 last year for Dempster as he bunts it foul. Devon DeJesus down at third base. Bobby D, leadoff man of the '84 NL East champs. Bob Dernier over at first. Alvarez ready to come in, and Dempster, I think, offered at it. He did. Make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog every day on WGNTV.com. I have some thoughts on opening day. We have game notes from stats, much more, photos from Wrigley Field. We'll have our podcast updated weekly. WGNTV.com. And Dempster, rare time he failed to get that bunt down. It's the first strikeout for Correa.
I mentioned Correa, a 4-pitch pitcher, and I think he used them all to Ryan Dempster in this bunting situation. That's a hanging slider, belt high out over the plate, but of the rare times you'll ever see Ryan Dempster bunt through a ball with 2 strikes. We saw him in spring training down the Cactus League on a few occasions get down successful sacrifice bunts in a 2-strike count, but couldn't get it done that time.
Not real happy with himself. Kosuke takes strike 1. We don't know what the lineup's going to look like tomorrow. What we saw a lot of in spring training, if Jeff Baker's in the lineup, and he probably will be tomorrow, that he would be in that leadoff spot. Not too much is set in stone. Really about it to start the year is Castro 2, Bird 3, Ramirez 4. But I know you're a big believer in a manager kind of leaving openings to make changes. Barney runs. Here's the throw. They're going to get him. Ryan Doumit throws out Darwin Barney to end the inning. 1-0 Cubs after 2. Field this season. You can be there to catch all the action. Tickets are available now for some of the great matchups of the 2011 season. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. It's a pleasure to have with us Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts.
Hey guys.
Happy opening day.
Happy opening day to you.
Well, I know the weather was a concern. The thing is, yesterday was great. This morning was great. It's fine. We're playing, and that's the key.
Yeah. It's a little cooler than optimal, but it works. You just got to keep the rain from getting any worse, and we'll get this one in.
Ronnie Cedeno will lead it off for the Pirates. And he takes it up and in. A pomp and circumstance of opening day. For the second straight year, a family of Cub fans chosen to throw out the first pitch. Robert Redford here. Great to have Ron Santo's daughter Linda and son Ron Jr. here with all the great former Cubs. Just a special day.
Yeah, it's been a very, very nice opening day. The little boy who we took out of the crowd to make the pitch had a great throw. He was very excited. He's a huge Cub fan. It was very special.
Well, as you embark on year 2 with the Cubs, one of 162, what are your kind of general thoughts going into the season?
Well, I think we're very, very excited about this season. I mean, you guys know it that the clubhouse has a really great energy to it. We got some players that are going to be key players, and they're good character guys. We got a manager who's energized and just engaged, and the players like him, and I think we'll have a great season.
2-2 to Cedeno is off the plate.
Yeah, Tom, you mentioned the energy in the clubhouse. Obviously, Carlos Pena, Matt Garza were brought here basically for what they can do on the field. But we've really noticed a change with those two guys around the clubhouse and the dugout. A lot more energy, a lot more talk, whatever, banter, whatever you want to call it.
That's a fair ball. Cedeno thought it was going to be foul, and he's thrown out by a couple of steps.
Yeah, no question, Bob. The good energy. It's interesting. I mean, those guys obviously were winners over at Tampa. I mean, they played in some pretty tough games and won some big titles against the Yankees and the Red Sox. So they know how to win, and they're great additions to the clubhouse as well as to the team.
Here's the pitcher, Correa. Cubs got an unearned run in the first inning. There's Matt Garza, who will start on Sunday as he chats with Randy Wells. Ballpark looks great. It was not the easiest winter,
yeah,
as everybody who lives here knows.
Yeah, we got a lot done to the ballpark in the offseason. Mostly things people won't be able to see. A lot of steel and concrete. We have a lot of different things people will see. Got there goes a strikeout. After those first few balls, Dempster's really settled down. He's pitching nicely. But we've got some different food options in the park. We kind of rehabbed all the gathering spaces, the Sheffield Grill, the Captain Morgan Club, the Batter's Eye Stadium Club, and it's looking pretty good. We're in good shape.
Jose Tabata led off the game by grounding out to short as he takes a strike. Well, we're lucky we get to come in when the ballpark's empty and it's just so peaceful and beautiful at about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you see the park fill up, and there's just so much energy here right now. There's nothing like it.
No, it's just great. You see the neighborhood just blossom when you get here. We got here early to start doing some of the media 6:30, and it just every time you turn around, there's another person, and then it just starts to just really, really explode. And then by the time game time, everyone's in here. It's just great energy.
1-2 to Tabata.
You know, Tom, most people, if you get invited to a dinner party and they want to show their home movies, that's when you want to leave the dinner party. But I noticed Laura was walking around with a video camera today. You're going to have some nice home movies to look at.
Yeah, that's nice of Laura to think about that. We haven't taken a lot of home movies.
Can you hang with us for a couple more minutes?
Absolutely, absolutely.
We're here with Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts. 1-0 Northsiders. Kosuke Fukudome was at the plate when Darwin Barney was caught stealing to end the second. So the leadoff man will lead off here in the third inning. We're here with Tom Ricketts. I want to welcome a few new people out of the organization. Obviously, Mike Quaddy's been here and, in fact, managed the team the final 37 games of last season. The Cubs went 24-13. But can you talk about what he did to earn that job right there, Tom?
Well, Jim did a pretty exhaustive search looking at different managerial candidates and potential managers for next year, and it came down to a handful of people, and and Mike just rose to the top of that crowd. I mean, he clearly had a great command of the team the last few weeks of the season, and they really played well for him.
Just foul,
and we really thought he was the guy that was most likely to win the most games with the team. So he's ready. He's been in the organization a long time. Everybody likes him. The players love him. I think he'll be absolutely terrific.
Rode the red line to the ballpark today. Generally going to walk here as Kosuke rips it into right.
Well, and that's part of what I think the players really relate to with Mike. He's just a regular guy. There's nothing pretentious about him. Just a regular guy, comes to work, does his work like the players do their work, throws BP. He's engaged. He's energetic. He's just the right guy.
So Fukudome is on. Cubs have the leadoff man on base for the first time. Here's Starlin Castro. We were joking in spring training, Tom, that Castro now he's old. He's 21.
Yeah, right. Grizzled veteran.
Last year he was young. He really has come into his own.
Well, he can hit, huh?
He hit for power in spring training, and I know it's a little different in Arizona, but he hit more homers this past month than he did all of last year. Bob, it seems like when he finds his pitch to jump on, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think that increased power in spring training, Len, is a direct byproduct of his experience. He's learned to work some counts, and if he gets a count in his favor, rather than just put the ball in play, he's looking to drive the ball, do some damage this year.
We've talked so much about the organization from top to bottom, scouting and development, how important the farm system is. Not only at the big league level, but making deals to get guys like Matt Garza. But I think it's really neat to see Starlin Castro at short, Darwin Barney at second base.
Yeah, that's great. Both of those guys came up through the system, through different channels in the system, but definitely system guys.
There's at least one, and it will be one. It had two written all over it, but Walker had some trouble getting the ball out of his glove, so the Cubs get a break.
Yeah, and that really is the key, Len. I mean, obviously last year, Andrew Kashner came up. He was obviously a draft pick of ours. Tyler Colvin. This year we bring Darwin Barney up. He'll be a big contributor. We need to keep having that couple guys every year that just keep moving on to the big league team and keep that machine rolling, and that's what we're building.
And talking with Jim Hendry in the past and just how organizations are successful, it's a combo, isn't it? It's building through the farm system, keeping your young players, and then adding around them with the veteran guys, the free agents, and the trades and other acquisitions.
Right, and obviously the ultimate goal is to bring in free agents when you need them, when you want them, not when you need them. You don't want to be put in a position where you have to go out to the free agency market. You want to have flexibility. You want to have your own players coming up.
1 ball, no strikes to Marlon Byrd. Also want to welcome back to the organization Keith Moreland, working with Pat Hughes, Judd Surratt, Matt Bolts over in the Cubs radio booth.
Yeah, Keith, it's great to have him back with the organization. When he filled in for Ron over the last couple of years, he's done a terrific job, and just a wonderful man.
Yeah, Keith Moreland as a player, Tom, was one of the first guys to the ballpark every day, and that hasn't changed. I got up this morning and turned on my TV at 6:30, and Keith Moreland's already at the ballpark.
I was doing an interview on GN Radio, and he was sitting there at 7 in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing here? You got 6 hours.
And a base hit for Byrd. Castro's going to stop at second. Moreland just keeps hitting after a huge spring.
Well, that's what he does. Marlon Byrd getting the barrel of the bat on the ball with consistency since the beginning of the Cactus League play and has carried it right into opening day here.
2 on, 1 out for Aramis Ramirez. And how about Andy Bellison, Arlington Heights native? Paul Friedman, the public address announcer here, has moved on to a new opportunity. And while we all miss Paul, and he is in the ballpark today, and we want to wish him the best, the Cubs opened up a nationwide search, and about 3,000 people applied for the job, and young Andrew Bellison, who did a fine job today with all the pregame introductions. Got the job.
Well, you know, and that 3,000, that wasn't just emails. I mean, that was, you had to do an audition to be one of those 3,000. We had almost 3,000 people send in home, you know, basically their own videos of themselves. It was pretty amazing, and from all over the country, 48 states, unbelievable.
Correa fakes towards second.
You know, and then to have it turn out that you know, the ultimate winner is from Arlington Heights, that's a great story too.
So we look forward to hearing Andy every day. Cubs with 4 hits. As Ramirez singles into left, Castro's going to be held by Ivan De Jesus, and the bases are loaded for Carlos Pena.
All right, Carlos. Be nice to see Carlos get off to a good start.
Oh, no question about it. This is one of those at-bats very early on, obviously, on opening day, as you get a look at Ramirez getting up on his toes to line that ball into left field. Yeah, big base hit right here. It'll earn you a lot of points with the fans here.
Well, and I think the fans are going to love Carlos, you know, as they get to know him. He's such a wonderful guy. If he can get off to a quick start, it'll just be terrific.
He has gone deep in this spot 7 times in his career with the bases loaded.
And we still have some wind blowing straight out, which I can't overemphasize how unusual that is on a cold day like this to have the wind blowing out here at Wrigley.
Yeah, rare. 41 degrees in a southwest wind. Outside to Pena on a fastball, and they'll make Correa work. He walked his first time up. Are you relaxed, Tom, or are you a nervous watcher of these games?
I'm pretty nervous right now. I want to get that first win on the board.
Ground ball, Walker to Cedeno, and that's it. And Pena will get an RBI as Castro scores. Starlin kind of tripped at home plate because of where the bat is near the plate. I think he tried to avoid it, and fortunately did. So it's 2-0.
Obviously, Carlos wanted to do more damage, but over the course of 162 ball games, if the guys in the middle of your lineup can pick up 1 RBI in those bases loaded situations, you're probably going to have a pretty good season. You saw Castro right there stumble awkwardly after he came across the plate.
He kind of slipped on a wet plate.
Yeah. Here's he's going to be okay.
He has scored both runs, so the first and third. And Giovanni Soto takes a breaking ball low and outside. You took some road trips last year. Are there any places in particular? I would assume Fenway Park would be one of your destinations.
Oh, yeah, can't miss that. We'll be there for sure. I'll be on a lot of the road trips this year. I've got to get out and see some of the other parks and see some of the other owners, and it'll be fun to travel with the team more this season.
Looking forward to going to Kansas City, great baseball town. They've got a somewhat newly renovated ballpark there. The Yankees come here.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice week, and that'll be a lot of fun for everybody.
2-0 to Giovanni Soto. Cubs lead early, 2-0 in the third. Missed again, 3-0.
Long look down to Ivan De Jesus at third base by Giovanni Soto to see whether he had the green light in this 3-0 count with 2 outs. From his approach, it looked like he did have the green light. He just didn't like that cut fastball on the outside corner. Even though it was a strike, that's not a pitch you want to swing at 3-0. That's a good pitcher strike right on the edge of the strike zone.
And he's going to get into a fielder's choice as he broke his bat. Cubs do add a run, lead 2-0. Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts, thanks for the time. Let's have a great season.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Xfinity HD shot of the game, the national 9/11 flag, which was destroyed in the aftermath of the collapse of the World Trade Center on September 11th of '01, stitched back together by tornado survivors in Greensburg, Kansas. Currently on a journey across the U.S. through the 10th year anniversary of 9/11. Cubs baseball brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Neil Walker gives it a ride, but Kosuke on the back pedal will make the catch.
Not an easy play for Kosuke. That ball hooking off the bat of the left-handed hitting Walker was actually moving toward Kosuke's left as he was running to his right. Made a nice adjustment right at the very end to make the play.
8 in a row retired by Ryan Dempster since the McCutchen double. In the first, their only hit. And a fastball for a strike. Still raining. We have not yet been interrupted. Mayor-elect Rahm Emanuel at the ballpark today. He's got a pretty good seat. 0-2 to McCutchen. Tap foul.
I think perhaps the quality of seat will be determined by how much he cooperates with the Ricketts family with some of the upgrades that are planned here for Wrigley Field. You might see him sitting in the upper deck next year. You never know.
Two strikes on McCutchen with Overbay on deck. Soriano got a late start, but he's going to get there on time.
Hey fans, Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to www.wrigleyvillerooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF.
Two down, and Overbay cranks that one into the right field corner as Pena was hugging the line at first. Snaps a string of 9 straight retired by Dempster.
Oh, hit like a bullet off the bat of Lyle Overbay. A slider right in the middle of the plate. That ball shoots past Pena before he could even react down there at first base, chasing Kosuke all the way into the right field corner. A 2-out double for the Pirates' first baseman.
Ball 1 to Alvarez. Mention the Cubs in their 136th National League opener. The Pirates starting their 125th season. They've won 4 in a row on opening day. Well, I like your theory about how with NCAA tournament basketball going on, everybody looks at opening day like it's the whole season. You would want to win opening day, there's no question, but the Pirates won opening day last year and they would go on to a 57-105 season. Ouch. So you certainly have to take a breath, no matter what happens, good or bad.
Yeah, that March Madness syndrome. Everybody, it's win or go home in the NCAA tournament, and there's obviously a lot of urgency every time you step on that basketball court, and then we start baseball season. 162 games spread out over a long summer.
Swing and a miss. Dempster with his 4th strikeout in the first 4 innings. 2-zip Cubs.
on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Great to be reunited with our WGN Sports home crew here at Wrigley Field. Out here early getting the production truck, the booth, the ballpark set up for Cubs baseball here on WGN. Bottom 4, 2-zip for the home team. That ball end up in a drinking fountain.
So did you find your long johns and all your insulated clothes?
I did. Got 8 jackets in my car.
Stocking caps and gloves.
Popped up by Soriano into center for McCutchen. Bob, I have my own personally autographed Tom Skilling Snuggie.
My, that is living large right there.
Good shape.
Snuggle up with Skilling.
This will be a staple in the first 2 months. We're going to be in Denver next week. The next road trip. Might need it.
Well, every time we go to Denver, people there try to convince me that the winters are not bad in Denver, Colorado, because of where they're situated in regards to the Rocky Mountains there. But I got to believe it's going to be a little chilly there next week.
Knocked down by Correa. It's a nice play by the pitcher. Just to figure out a way to slow it down and then recover and get Darwin Barney. The 6th annual Cubs Charities Race to Wrigley 5K on Saturday, April 16th. Begins at Clark and Addison. Continues through the Wrigleyville neighborhood and finishes with a run down the Wrigley Field concourse and under the famous marquee. Each participant gets a Performance Management Race t-shirt. Personal fundraising proceeds benefit Children's Memorial Hospital. To register, visit Cubs.com/race. Dempster could not get down a sac bunt his first time up. On the mound, Ryan Dempster 102 and 102 in his major league career, so he's trying to get over 500 today. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it as Correa has his first 1-2-3 inning. 2-0 Cubs.
How would you like to win five $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules.
We start the fifth. Cubs with a run in the first, another in the third. The one in the opening inning was unearned because of a throwing error by Pedro Alvarez. Ryan Doumit, strike one. And a base hit rolled right back through the box and into center.
A little more work for Ryan Dempster here in this fifth inning. The two base hits he had given up before the ground ball single up the middle were both 2-out doubles. He was able to pitch around those successfully. Now he's got a leadoff man on he's going to have to work with.
Got it. Garrett Jones swings and misses. Well, Brett Myers out pitching Roy Halladay this afternoon in Philadelphia. Myers 7 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned. Halladay gave up a run, only went 6 though, and the Astros lead 4-2 in the ninth. I think a lot of people just assuming the Phillies at least 4 out of every 5 days will just beat everybody with that incredible starting rotation. I think others assume that the Red Sox will go 162-0 in the American League. I was talking with somebody who works for the Red Sox, Bob, and he said, you know, we're kind of sick of hearing it because you keep hearing it over and over and over again. It's like, we got to play the season. You don't play it on paper.
Well, I guarantee you aren't hearing anything from dugouts of the teams that you're talking about. They all understand that you have to go out there on the field and play the game and do it consistently over the course of a long season. That's more for people like us to speculate.
3-1 on Garrett Jones. So they have their leadoff man on for the first time, and Jones ahead in the count. Well, we talk about inning management. Is Ryan Dempster getting near the bottom of the Pirates' order here? That one just foul. Not that you want to let Garrett Jones get on base, but even if he does, you know, there are ways for a veteran like Dempster to work around it. 8 and 9 hitters coming up next. Probably one thing every young pitcher has to learn, that you aren't going to retire every guy you face. And while you'd like to, as a runner goes, and that's fouled back. Think about how a guy like Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine would work. If he got into a certain count with a guy, he would just move on and say, I'll get the next one. Don't make a mistake.
Well, certainly depending on game situation, where you're at as far as early in the game, middle part of the game, late part of the game, where you're at in the opposing batting order, the score of the ball game, all those things have to enter into your thinking as a pitcher when you give up that leadoff base hit.
Runner not going. A late swing by Jones. This will be charged by Ramirez. And the throw barely got him. Low throw in the dirt. And we should probably keep a tally on Carlos Pena digging balls out of the dirt. He's 2 for 2.
So far, he's 2 for 2. Thought Ramirez might have had a play at second base since Doumit was not running on this particular 3-2 pitch. They may have had an opportunity to get the lead runner at second base. Ramirez never took a look, however, and took the sure out over at first base, thanks to Carlos Pena picking another one out of the dirt.
Called strike. And Ronnie Cedeno. Career high 132 starts with the Pirates last year. He made his major league debut as a Cub April 23rd of 2005. Outside. 1-2. Correa on deck. Paul Gershke following us on Facebook, watching today on WGN America in Lebanon, Ohio. Got some followers on Twitter. Doug's Pub watching the game in Algeria. Pablo says hi from Mexico City. 2-2. Good smothered by Soto.
Cubs minor league camp had an early day today. Their game started at 10 o'clock, so I'm sure there's a lot of guys sitting in the training room at Fitch Park watching the Cubs battle the Pirates here on opening day. Good stop by Giovanni Soto to keep the runner at second base.
Three and two on Cedeno. The last three have missed after an 0-2 start. Ball four and a close one. Here comes Correa.
Follow the Chicago Cubs with MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. And with the pitcher on deck, Ryan Dempster was not going to give in and throw Ronnie Cedeno a fastball down the middle of the plate. He nibbled at that corner with a slider, tried to get the swinging strike, and now with the bases loaded, the pitcher at the plate, a possibility to maybe turn a double play on this bunt.
There's the bunt by Correa. It's a good one. And now Pirates potentially a single away from tying this thing up. Second and third with two outs.
Now batting left fielder Jose Tabata.
Hey, you really can't fault Ryan Dempster for that 3-2 slider to Ronnie Cedeno. Dempster's very aware of Ronnie Cedeno's weaknesses. He'll chase that breaking ball out of the strike zone, but perhaps Ronnie's getting a little wiser as he gets more big league time and maybe understands his spot in this Pirates lineup a little better this year. Hitting in that 8 spot, you have to know when to go outside the zone and when to take the base on balls.
Tabata late on a fastball at 91.
Looks like Tabata had some problems with his batting gloves there after this Ryan Dempster fastball right down the middle of the plate, just blew it past a pretty good fastball hitter.
Pirates got Tabata from the Yankees in 2008. Ross Ollendorf, one of the Pirates starters, also involved in that deal. Xavier Nady. Damaso Marte went the other way. Nady spent last year with the Cubs, of course, and is now with Arizona. We'll see him next week. All these guys trying to keep their bat dry as it continues to drizzle here on the north side. I don't think the rain ever had really stopped. Three and one. Now
Whoa.
First base is open. That was borderline.
I'll take your word for it, but I think Xfinity is going to say that pitch is right there.
Yep.
Yeah, breaking ball. Not a good breaking ball, not where Ryan Dempster wanted to throw it, but strike nonetheless.
Tom Hallion behind the plate today. 3-1 pitch. Ball four. Second walk of the inning.
Some people wonder why pitching coaches and managers and hitting coaches on some occasions get so upset with home plate umpires. That 2-1 pitch swung the entire at bat into Tabata's favor. Yeah, rather than a 2-2 count where maybe you can get him to chase a borderline pitch, now it's 3-1, and he is really zoned in to let it fly on a strike. That time Ryan Dempster missed a way to load the bases.
There's Neil Walker. He struck out his first time, lined out to right, made good contact his second time up. Going into today, he was 3 for 4 against Dempster. So an important moment in this game. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ball 1. Ryan normally works quickly, but I think recognizing how big this spot is, kind of slowing things down. Not a ton of at-bats in this spot for Walker early on in his career.
Good slider that time. Started pretty much on the outside part of the plate, dropped down and into the strike zone, gets Walker to swing right over the top of it. Dempster's been able to spot that slider on both sides of the plate in the early going today. He's thrown some for strikes on the back door to the left-handed hitters, and others he's thrown on the inside corner and broke it to their back foot.
.41 when we started. But if there's any way to call it a warm 41 because of the wind direction. Ryan Dempster from British Columbia, Canada, certainly not bothered by this weather. Two and two now to Walker.
Big pitch in the ball game here for Ryan Dempster. He does not want to go to a full count with 2 outs to Neil Walker and have those runners in motion. I want to make something happen right here on the 2-2 pitch. Well, now the runners will be in motion. Pretty good speed on the bases, especially with Cedeno at second and Tabata over at first base.
Domet, Cedeno, Tabata, third to first on the bases. And there they go. And a tapper foul.
A good veteran move there by Ryan Dempster. That last fastball at 87 miles an hour. You can see how far out in front Neil Walker was on that particular pitch. Dempster's been throwing his fastball in the low 90s pretty consistently, but that time took just a little bit off, got Walker out in front.
And a high fly deep to right, and that's going to be a grand slam for Neil Walker. His first career grand slam. That ball hit the back of the bleachers and bounded onto Sheffield Avenue. So Ryan's lack of command here in this inning comes back to bite him as he walked 2 to set up this grand slam.
Boy, a room surface fastball, a little bit down and out over the plate, right where the left-handed hitting Neil Walker likes it, and very little doubt about that one. Kosuke goes back to the wall in right field, but that sailed over everything.
So just like that, a Cubs 2-run lead becomes a 2-run deficit, 4-2. And with that, we see some rumbling down in the Cubs bullpen.
I tell you, and a lot of people around baseball aren't familiar with Neil Walker, but they will become familiar with him. I think he has a chance to be an outstanding player. Hit .296 for the Buccos last year with 12 homers and 66 runs driven in. I think that just scratches the surface of the kind of player he can be.
It seems as if the Pirates finally have a young group, a nucleus that's kind of developing at the same time.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, McCutchen, Jones, Domit, and Cedeno were all in the starting lineup for opening day last season, but you go back to 09, only Ryan Domit still with the ball club. You go back to 07, Ryan Domit, the only Pirate still with the ball club.
Yeah, you really think about Tabata, Walker, McCutchen, and Alvarez as the guys that they'll try to build around. This will end the inning. Castro throws out McCutchen, but Neil Walker with a grand slam on a 3-2 pitch, and it's now 4-2 Pirates. Walker hit a 2-out grand slam off Ryan Dempster. So top of the order, Fukudome, Castro, and Bird here in the last of the 5th. Cubs without an extra base hit. They took advantage of an error in the first inning, but add one in the 3rd. As Correa tries to settle in, working with an advantage for the first time. Well, one thing the Cubs found out last year in terms of what not to do against the Pirates, you don't want to go into the 8th inning trailing, because for as much as this team struggled last year, they have 2 guys at the back end who are very good. Joel Hanrahan's their closer, and Evan Meek, his setup guy, both right-handers. 2-2 to Kosuke, and he strikes out.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Today's Mega Millions jackpot is $19 million, and Saturday's Powerball jackpot, $187 million.
That's it?
That's all.
Castro has scored twice. Bounces it foul into the Cubs dugout.
Well, Len, I heard a phrase from a minor league manager I had years and years and years ago. His advice to us was fill up the box score. as a position player, hey, go out there and fill up the box score. And well, by that he meant, get your hits if you can get hits. If you don't get any hits, find a way to get on base and score a run. If you don't score a run, find a way to drive in a run. Fill up that box score. Get some numbers after your at-bats. I have a feeling Starlin Castro is going to fill up the box score an awful lot this year. Both with his hits, his runs scored. With his increased power, he'll probably drive in more runs this year. You'll see a lot of crooked numbers after Starlin's name in the box score this year.
And I really like him in the 2 spot. A very important spot in the lineup, certainly. But takes just a little pressure off him. Doesn't have to be the leadoff guy. Number 3 hitter is reserved for your best hitter, and right now it's the veteran Bird. As Castro grounds out, just let him do his thing. You're going to hit second every day. Just go play.
Well, and I think because his natural swing is to drive the ball to right center or right field, if Kosuke or Jeff Baker, whoever happens to be hitting in that leadoff spot, can get on base ahead of Starlin Castro, it increases his chances of getting a base hit, driving a ball through that right side of the field. And as we came to realize with Marlon Byrd in his time here in Chicago, he is the first player out of the clubhouse every day to come out and get ready for a ball game. It had to be 40 minutes before game time. Marlon came out of the Cubs dugout on the third base side, went to the outfield to run his sprints, and got a standing ovation. He was the only player on the field at that particular time.
Charged by Cedeno, and Correa with that proverbial shutdown inning after his team gave him the lead. He's retired 8 in a row now, 4-2. Cubs schedule. This homestand continues tomorrow, noon start. On Sunday, the debut of Matt Garza as a Cub. And then the Diamondbacks come in on Monday. We'll be back with you on Sunday here on WGN, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man. That's the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Lyle Overbay leads off the Pirates' 6th. Strikeout and a double. Caught the inside corner. Overbay could always hit. He was a career .338 minor league hitter before he stuck in the majors for good. Milwaukee led the majors with 53 doubles back in '04.
Len, you've heard me talk about ball players being high maintenance or low maintenance or no maintenance, and we talked to Clint Hurdle about Lyle Overbay. He had a little different term for it. He said he's a self-cleaning oven. All you do is put him in the lineup. You never have to worry about him. He's not going to make any waves. For the most part, he's going to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, I asked both managers kind of the general theme going into the season. Check out that last pitch on Pitch Tracks, brought to you by Xfinity. Clint Hurdle said the two things you can control are attitude and effort. As Overbay takes the leadoff walk, I think positive energy is a big thing for a team that has lost a record, or has had a record 18 consecutive losing seasons. In terms of Mike Quade, he thinks his pitching staff is going to be really good, and he wants the defense to help the pitchers. So defense is number one, and being resilient is the other one. I think today is a good example. You get a 2-0 lead. Now you give up the lead. Let's see if this team can battle back. Alvarez bounces, and they'll get one, and that's it. Good play by Barney. That infield dirt's really getting wet just to get that lead man at second base.
You talk about that resiliency that Mike Quade was talking about as you get a look at Darwin Barney. Taking a little bit of a gamble there, trying to get the lead runner, but he knew that Overbay does not run well and had just enough time to spin to his right and get that lead runner. Hey, you have to be resilient in this game because even the best teams in the league are going to lose 60 or more times this season. You better learn how to handle adversity and bounce back the next day.
Mateo's the righty, Russell the lefty. Righty on the left, lefty on the right. Brewmaster Joe watching us on WGN America in Phoenix, where it may hit triple digits today. We had heard earlier this week that it was going to get really hot once we left spring training.
But it's a dry heat, as opposed to the wet cold that we have here today.
Big gang watching at TK Bitterman's in Houston, the town's official Cubs bar. We'll have to check it out on our next road trip. 3-1.
You talked about it earlier, Len, that Ryan Dempster normally likes to pitch in a very quick rhythm. Get the ball back from the catcher, get up on the rubber, throw the next pitch. But this is one of those nonverbal signals that maybe physically or mentally he's starting to reach the end of the rope, really taking a lot of time between pitches. Took a stroll around behind the mound that time.
High changeup for a strike.
Once again, not the location Ryan Dempster's looking for on an off-speed pitch up there around belt high in the middle of the plate, but he got away with it that time because Domet was looking for a fastball the whole way.
There goes Alvarez. Called strike three. Safe at second. Tom Hallion with, I think, my favorite called third strike call.
Yeah.
Very emphatic.
That's because he never called you out on strike three. Watch Hallion behind home plate. He'll turn around all the way and face the fans behind home plate in the front row. The hitters love that. Good quick release by Giovanni Soto. Unfortunately, just too much of a jump that time by Alvarez, able just to get in underneath the tag.
Don't know if Pedro Alvarez will take second base. Put it in the dugout. That's his first career steal. As Mike Quade's out to chat things over with Ryan Dempster in the infield. Make sure you check out our WGN Weekly podcast, WGNTV.com. Our current one, recorded in sunny Arizona. Our next one will be bundled up on Sunday. Of course, we always have the option of doing our podcast in our WGN podcast studios, but I do not have the key. You have it?
They changed all the locks. I'd like to tell you more, but my attorney says we shouldn't talk about it.
Building looks good. Well, Bob, another blown ninth inning. This time it was Brandon Lyon of the Astros. Phillies got 3 against him in the ninth to win 5-4.
Obviously, Len, in Major League Baseball, a lot of things can happen to turn your season on its ear very early on, but nothing is more devastating, in my humble opinion, than your closer blowing games early in the season. You'd like to think everything falls into place. Your offense scores enough runs to win a game. You make all the plays you need to make defensively. Your starting pitcher gives you a chance to win the game, and then your closer trots out there for the ninth inning and gives it up. Those are devastating early in the season.
Well, you're the Astros, and you had a chance to win a game that Roy Halladay started against you. It was John Mayberry Jr. winning the game as Jones walks. A pinch hit RBI single as the Phillies won the game 5-4. Dempster has now walked 4. They've all been in the last 2 innings. Right at 100 pitches.
And once again, taking a long time to regroup after that base on balls to Garrett Jones before going to battle with Ronnie Cedeno here with 2 outs and a couple of runners on base.
White Sox jumping all over the Indians 6-0 in the third. Adam Dunn with a home run in his White Sox debut. White Sox and Indians tomorrow on WGN. Bulls basketball tomorrow night against the Toronto Raptors at 7. Big sports weekend here on WGN. We'll have game 3 of this series. 1 o'clock for the leadoff man on Sunday. And the Blackhawks will host Tampa Bay Sunday evening on WGN. For Chicago viewers only at 6 o'clock. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the inning is over. Bottom 6 coming up. Cubs trail the Pirates 4-2. Slam, Neil Walker's first career 4-run homer, giving them the lead. Starlin Castro, 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored, the only 2 for the Cubs today. Visit your local Honda dealer today to test drive the 2011 Honda Cross Tour, available with 4-wheel drive. Cold and rainy here at the ballpark. And I think we're going to have a delay here to put some diamond dry on the infield dirt out near shortstop. You can see it starting to puddle up. And you see why. While we have a chance, let's take a look at today's Bud fan cam. Well, the weather isn't perfect. It's opening day, so it's a beautiful day, of course. That's our Bud fan cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Got a shot of Robert Redford. Bob, you and I got a chance to see his new film coming out. He directed it, called The Conspirator, about the Lincoln assassination, and it opens nationwide April 15th. And it's the debut film from the American Film Company, which was founded by Joe Ricketts. His family, of course, owns the Cubs, and really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, historically accurate. It's a true story.
Very interesting perspective. Joe Ricketts said that he didn't like movies that said based on a true story. He wanted to hear the true story. So that's what they're setting out to do with their film company. The first one, as you mentioned, The Conspirator, about the Lincoln assassination. We're told that there's going to be a new movie soon about the Paul Revere ride, the legendary Paul Revere's ride. And all historically factual. Not based on a true story, it's a true story.
Yeah. James McAvoy, Tom Wilkinson, and Robin Wright star. So Roger Baird and his grounds crew taking care of this infield that is taken on a fair amount of water just because it has never stopped raining. They will give Correa some more warm-up tosses. And let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. So here we go. Aramis Ramirez, Carlos Pena, Giovanni Soto inside from Correa. Fifth career start for Correa, 9th appearance against the Cubs. He's 1-2 with a high ERA. That one shot past Alvarez and into left. So Ramirez is 2 for 3.
Aramis Ramirez has that ability to extend his swing when he gets fooled slightly by a pitch, as he does this time on that slider down and out over the plate. He's able to reach out there, still get the barrel of the bat on the ball. It's not always a picture-perfect swing, but the results are good.
Chris Resop and left-hander Garrett Olson, who's the only southpaw in that bullpen. They just started to throw. Pena looks at ball one.
Throughout the Cactus League season, we saw opposing teams put an exaggerated pull shift on for Carlos Pena. Pirates choosing not to do so. The third baseman is playing way off the line now, moving over a few more steps toward the shortstop position, but not nearly the drastic shift we're used to seeing with Pena at the plate. Also, we don't see the Pirates bunch their outfielders into the gaps as we've seen them do for the last number of years. Their theory was that more balls are hit to the gaps than are hit down either foul line, so they play their corner outfielders closer to the center fielder, at least they have in the past. This year, more traditionally straight up.
Three and 0 the count. Boy, Ramirez with a very short lead on that last pitch. I mean, he was like 2 feet off the bag. With a bigger lead that time as Pena had the green light on 3 and 0. And the ball's going to drop, but they're going to get an out. So basically they swap Ramirez for Pena. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Carlos when he angrily whipped the bat away after hitting that 3-0 pitch straight up in the air.
He hit it hard. He just hit it straight up in the air. Caught the bottom part of the baseball right on the sweet spot of the bat. Hit it a mile in the air. You could see that Alvarez was having trouble with that ball right off of the bat. Ends up drifting nearly all the way over to second base. And really nothing Aramis Ramirez can do right there. You never assume a major league infielder is not going to be able to catch a pop-up. So he got caught in no man's land and was forced at second.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball by Soto. Nothing in 2. This game changed on one swing. Neil Walker with a go-ahead grand slam in the 5th. Cedeno will throw to second close there. Pena with a clean, hard slide. They were only going to get one. That ball was not hit hard. Back-to-back forces at second base. 2 down. Here's Soriano.
You have to believe Pirates skipper Clint Hurdle is overjoyed with the effort that he's gotten from his starting pitcher Kevin Correa today. Correa only went 6 innings one time in spring training, his last outing against the Yankees. A couple of times he went 5 innings. Once he went 4 innings. Once he went 3 innings. In his first start of spring training, an inning in the 3rd. So getting into uncharted territory here for Kevin Correa, but he's been very effective today.
McCutchen in center. And that's it. Cubs leave one. They had the leadoff man on, but failed to score. We'll head off to the 7th. 4-2 Pirates. member of the Cubs Club, the official fan club of the Chicago Cubs. This year's Cubs Club features a new Bleacher Crew tier and an improved Marquee tier. Members will enjoy exclusive perks, experiences, and merchandise throughout the 2011 Cubs season. There's never been a better time to join, rejoin, or give a fellow Cubs fan the gift of a Cubs Club membership. To join today, visit Cubs.com. A soggy afternoon here at Wrigley. The Cubs trailing 4-2 as Ryan Dempster is going to start the seventh against the pitcher Kevin Correa, with Marcos Mateo still loosening in the bullpen. And we have two members of the Sano family who will conduct the stretch coming up after this half inning. Linda and Ron Jr.
And I have to believe that Ryan Dempster's on a short leash here in the seventh inning. He's up to 106 pitches in the ball game. Not that that's an extraordinary number for Ryan Dempster, but this couple of innings he struggled with his location. He's had some base on balls. Pena comes up just short on that foul ball into the first base dugout. So with that in mind, Mateo throwing into Cubs bullpen. As you get another look at Carlos Pena, I think Cub fans are going to be impressed by his defense this year. You don't normally talk about range with a first baseman, but Carlos Pena covers a lot of ground, not only in fair territory, but as he proved right there, in foul territory.
Correa fans, number 7 for Demp. Brings up Tabata as Mike Quaddy chats with his new pitching coach, Mark Riggins. After last year, over 200 strikeouts. Tabata's out, 2 quick ones. And we'll bring up Neil Walker, who hit that big grand slam his last time up. 208 strikeouts for Ryan Dempster last year, one off his career best. Struck out 209 back in 2000 with Florida. Called strike.
That was fantastic.
Kosuke playing deep, and he can't get it, and he gets all the way past him off the door as Walker has a double. Let's take a look at our BMW Ultimate Drive. The big shot so far in this contest.
It came after a couple of base on balls and a single loading the bases. Neil Walker, no doubt about that one, out onto Sheffield Avenue.
Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. McCutchen 1 for 3. Bob, I have the Pirates with 5 hits and only 1 single, 3 doubles and a grand slam. So brought out the extra base power today. And McCutchen launches this one to left, and it's just into the front row for a 2-run homer. And that stretches the Pirate lead to 6-2. Well, the Pirates getting a good look at their present and future today as Walker and McCutchen have both hit big home runs, and that'll be it for Ryan Dempster.
The last half inning, we talked about Aramis Ramirez and his ability to extend his swing. That time McCutchen hits that ball a little bit off the end of the bat, but gets just enough to get it up into the basket in left center field.
So it'll be lefty James Russell coming on. It's 6-2 Pirates. Third left-hander in the bullpen. They also have veterans Sean Marshall and John Graybo. I think it was important in terms of roster construction, Bob, with 5 right-handed starters to have that extra lefty.
No question about it. It allows Mike Quade to play matchups later in the ball game. I personally love having those 3 lefties in the pen. Sean Marshall, of course, is the guy that will be saved until the 8th inning, 7th or 8th inning of a ball game. But John Graybo and Jeff Russell able to come into the game in a situation just like this and face the other team's tough lefties.
You did it again. Called him Jeff.
Did I?
But you know what? We do that a lot.
My bad.
We know that Jeff's watching. Might be here. Jeff Russell, former All-Star closer. As James' father, as Overbay strikes out. Ron Santo Jr., Linda Santo Brown coming up with a 7th inning stretch.
This is for our dad. He loved all you Cub fans. So let him hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back to its root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a
Back here in the bottom of the 7th, 6-2 Pirates, and it's so great to have with us in the booth Linda Santo Brown and Ron Santo Jr. I know it's a bittersweet day, but as we celebrate your father's life, wearing the number 10 caps, and you did such a great job with the stretch. Linda, great to see you, and Ron, great to see you here in the booth.
Well, it's great to see both of you guys, and again, we're just very honored that the Cubs asked us to come out here and do this, and the Cubs were a second family to my dad, and so and we're truly being treated like that from them.
We want to remind everybody, 6:30 Chicago time on April 16th, a special on Ron Santo's life in his own words, and we look forward to that. The Cubs wearing the number 10 patch on their sleeve all year.
He is, I know, very honored, and you could feel his energy here today, even in spite of the rain, but it's a typical opening day, and everyone's still so excited. And
see if the Cubs can come back late.
it can happen, and that was...
He always hoped for that.
Well, we enjoyed so much being with your dad on and off the air throughout the years, and I think the one great thing about him that everybody who knew him so well loved is that he didn't take himself very seriously. Now, there were times when he did, but he liked to have a lot of fun.
Yes.
And when it's a long 6-month baseball season, that is so important, isn't it?
Well, it's what he said. He can laugh at himself. And when you can laugh at yourself, and that's what everyone enjoyed, and why they enjoyed being with him.
Barney pulls one foul. Tyler Colvin is going to pinch hit for James Russell on deck. Bob likes to tell the story of their radio debut together, that the first thing your dad did was spill coffee all over his scorecard.
Shocker.
And swear.
Yes.
Well, I remember the cough button was very important to you at the time.
Yes.
He had to control himself.
He said that was going to...
Pop up by Barney is... It's going to drop. 4 Pirates were within about 5 feet of that ball. And I think Bob can speak from experience. If you're Ryan Domit, you try to locate the ball, but you got to get some help.
Absolutely, you
We'll
need to
take
get
that.
some help on that play, and we will definitely take it. The catcher is taught to go after everything he can get until you hear somebody call you off, and I guarantee you right now Ryan Doman's saying, please, somebody call me off. Really, the pitcher Correa, the only Pirate that was close to that ball when it hit the ground. Darwin Barney on with a lead-off 45-foot single.
So it'll be Tyler Colvin to pinch hit. Both bullpens cranking it up. Looks like we're going to see John Grabo in the 8th inning, and Clint Hurdle might make a move right here and go with his lefty, Garrett Olson. So the chess match has begun. Kevin Correa is upset about not catching that pop-up, but he will exit with a 6-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. April 16th at 6:30. Ron Santo, in his own words, so Linda and Ron with Cubs legends and Ron's teammates on the field before the game. Lee Williams with that number 10 pin. Now, Linda, when you see these shots, what do you think about?
Well, it's hard to watch, and without getting emotional, but at the same time, we're blessed to be able to see these and carry on. It's also, helps you in healing.
Yes.
And not everybody gets that opportunity. We'll be able to come here for years. My sons, their sons, children will be able to come and see his flag, and he'll always be honored and remembered.
Garrett Olson is the new pitcher as Tyler Colvin fouls it back. And we certainly hope that both of you and your entire family, that this is your home away from home. And, we hope to see you up here as much as possible in the years to come.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I had mentioned that too, that I want to thank the entire Cubs organization, too. All of us do, as they have embraced us. And we were saying, when you lose a parent, the village comes in, and we feel that the Cubs organization and all of you have been that to our whole entire family. And we'll all be back out August 10th, all of us together, and that'll be a special day. And we're so grateful. It's really helped.
Well, if we hear you're in the ballpark and you don't come up and personally say hi to us, you're going to hear about it, okay? We promise you that.
We will.
1-2 the count. Cubs trailing 6-2 here in the seventh, and another pop fly down the left field line is going to get back out of play. And, we absolutely have to mention all the wonderful work the entire Sano family has done, but your dad spearheading the fundraising for JDRF, and that'll continue, correct?
Yes, that's going to continue. I've had some nice meetings with JDRF, and going to carry the legacy and with the walk and the golf outing, and because I know that's what he would want.
Yes.
In that. So
we're most definitely going to continue, not just this year, but moving forward. That's a priority.
Colvin hanging in there against the lefty. Barney at first, nobody out. And another foul. And I know he'd be thrilled to know that Kerry Wood, maybe his favorite Cub, is back with the team.
When we were standing out on the field and Kerry Wood came out with the number 10 hat, he looked right at Ronnie and I, and we just kind of gave him the thumbs up. They had a special bond. And
Kerry's one of my dad's favorites. Yeah, and that. I think Kerry reminded my dad of some of the old school players back when he played.
I think that was a case of divine intervention.
Got a great ovation today. Kerry and his wife Sarah were at the funeral. They talked to Jim Hendry, and Jim didn't think that the Cubs could afford Kerry Wood. He said, well, I'm not so sure about that. And about a day or two later, they had a deal. And the other thing about the services for your dad, and I know you talked to so many people, is how many Cubs current and former players showed up. Ted Lilly, who lives in California in the winter and is no longer a member of this organization, flew in to pay his respects to your dad. And I think it says a lot about Ted and also about the relationship Ron had with the entire team.
Very so. Ted Lilly, another very classy guy. I mean, I'll never forget when one of my dad coming to me last year, and then Ted had wrote a nice little letter to my father. And I can't tell you how proud my father was that Ted actually took the time just to honor my dad, and he kept it and still had it, and we have it. And again, Ted's that type of person, and it was so good to see him there at the ceremonies and at Harry's after and that. So.
And Ryan Dempster, I mean, he definitely had, all throughout the years of his broadcasting, these young players who really respected him. He felt like he was still one of the guys on the team, I think. And spending time with the Woods family, I just realized how near and dear he was to them.
Well, he spent a lot of time with Ted just sitting in the clubhouse and talking about the way things were going. And 0-2 is in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Bob, the sessions with Ron and Lou,
Oh, Lord.
Sitting in Lou Pinella's office.
Oh, my.
Talking about all the pitchers they used to face. I mean, story after story after story. It was priceless.
It really was. I mean, you get two guys that had the remarkable careers that they both did as players, and of course Lou going into managing and your father going into broadcasting, and the stories just flowed all day.
There we go.
Fukudome with a base hit, and Barney will score. It's now 6-3. RBI single for Kosuke. He's on a 1-2 pitch.
You mentioned earlier, Len, that Clint Hurdle only had the one lefty available out of the bullpen, so he had to really pick his spots when he decided to drop Olson into this ball game. You had the pinch hitter Colvin in the 9th spot, a left-handed hitter. Kosuke Fukudome, the leadoff hitter, a left-handed hitter. So Hurdle thought that this was possibly a turning point in the game and used his only lefty.
Jose Veras, a right-hander, will come in to face Starlin Castro. 1 in, 1 on. We'll be back. Seventh. Here with Linda and Ron Jr. representing the Santos today. Linda's got her gloves on. Are you freezing? You're used to like 94, which is what it is today in Arizona.
I was just saying we were there on Tuesday, sweaty and hot, and now we're freezing.
Ball 1 to Starlin Castro. The other thing your dad would talk about all the time to us is his grandkids and what a relationship they had. And
they're watching right now. I have to give a shout out to Sam and Spencer. They were his pride and joy. And
yes, they were.
I think he surpassed us, all of us.
Yes.
He went right
Oh, yeah.
right when the grandchildren were born.
They're
Special
the ones.
bond.
Yeah.
Sounded like he broke his bat, and it's going to be a base hit. So Starlin Castro with 2 hits today, and all of a sudden the tying run will come to the plate.
You know, Len, we talked about Starlin Castro down in the Cactus League, his ability to keep the bat in the strike zone for a long time. It causes him to make consistent contact. It's not always solid contact, as this broken bat base hit will attest to, but he keeps his bat in the zone for a long, long time. Ball right in on the handle, breaks his bat, but floats it out there in shallow right field for a base hit.
So Marlon Byrd representing the tying run. One ball, no strikes. Again, August 10th, the statue unveiling in honor of Ron Santo. Had a great event last year. Billy Williams statue was unveiled. Ernie statue out in front of the ballpark. Harry Carey statue. Really looking forward to it. 1-0 pitch, fouled back.
We are too. We're interested to see what it's going to look like. You know, it's classified information.
Yeah,
but we can't wait.
Trying to guess
Yes.
what it will be. So I'm sure whatever, it's going to be really nice. And again, what an honor. I know that it was something that was being talked about before he passed away. So
he knew about it.
Yeah, and of course he was excited about that. So we're looking forward to that.
Popped into center. Cutchin will keep Fukudome at second. And there are 2 outs. Kerry Wood is up in the bullpen along with John Graybo. So it's up to Ramirez here in the bottom of the 7th.
You don't suppose they would have your father's statue clicking his heels, do you?
I was thinking
Funny
about
you say that. We discussed that, and I think that would have been the obvious choice, but it's a little hard to kind of get that position without it looking a little like awkward, I guess, so to speak.
With modern technology, you never know.
Yes.
The first hovering statue in
Yes.
world history. An inspiration that was to the '69 Cubs.
I think that what's been special is, I don't know if you've seen around, someone has made a pin that was in the paper, a picture of him clicking his heels with the wings on his back. And that I was able to get a hold of one of those at the spring training game, and I think that really says it all.
Comes a 1-0 to Aramis. It's slow. Now, Linda, did you channel your father here? Did you blurt something out earlier?
Yes, I did.
What happened?
I was in the radio booth, and it was when there was that pop-up, and I don't know who was going to second, but anyway, when he dropped the ball and then we got out at second, I screamed no very loud, and then my brother looked at me, hit me, and then Matt Bolt started laughing because he's pointing at me, you're just like your dad, and then afterwards Pat, was that you? I go, it was me, I'm sorry. It's genetic.
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
That's okay. 2-1. No, there's never been a bigger Cub fan in the world than number 10. And Ramirez, a high drive into left center. McCutchen's going to have room. And that ends the inning. Coming up on April 16th, Ron Santo in his own words here on WGN. Linda, Ron Jr., thank you so much for the time, and we'll see you here again very soon.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Good to see you guys.
the 8th. The Cubs trailing 6-3. And we want to thank Ron Santo Jr. and his sister Linda Santo Brown for spending some time with us in the 7th inning as Pedro Alvarez grounds out 4-3 on the first pitch. He's got to keep them close at this point and hope the offense can get something done. But again, Bob, as we said a few innings ago, now you got to do it against Evan Meek and Joel Hanrahan.
It just makes it a little tougher. It doesn't make it impossible. I thought a Ramos Ramirez ball had a chance off of the bat. Looked like it was headed on the proper arc to end up in the bleachers out there in left center, but just got out to the warning track and feathered into the glove of Andrew McCutchen.
Domet hitting righty for the first time today. Well, his last name is Meek, but he's certainly not in terms of how he pitches.
He's got some good stuff. Overpowering fastball. At times can get by with a fastball alone.
John Graybo looking for a bounce back year. He wasn't really right last year. Season ended in late June. When he did pitch, he had an ERA of 7.36, just 28 appearances. Domet draws a 1-out walk. And Garrett Jones will be called back as Matt Diaz will hit for him.
We'll see if Mike Quaddy counters with his right-hander. Jeff Samardzija cranking it up down in the Cubs bullpen down the left field line. Matt Diaz was a nice pickup for the Pirates. He's a real solid professional hitter, gives you a good at-bat. He's a solid outfield, as you mentioned earlier. Pretty much being the platoon, at least initially, with Garrett Jones for playing time in the outfield.
Little bit up, 1-1. 41,358 paid crowd here on this cold and rainy day. Ooh, sure where that got Gio, but it hurt.
It looked like it clipped him on that right shoulder. Appeared to be a glancing blow, and he's got that extra padding to cover that right shoulder. Another look at his Diaz just gets a piece of it. Might have crawled right up his forearm there. Fortunately, as I said, a glancing blow. That came very close to catching him on that throwing hand. You're always worried as a catcher. With a runner at first base, you have to be prepared to throw, as Diaz is caught napping. Takes a called strike 3. As a catcher, you always have to be ready to throw in the event that runner at first base breaks for second, and occasionally that bare hand will get exposed to a foul tip. Graybo with a change up on the inside part of the plate. Completely fooled Diaz that time.
Cedeno with 2 outs.
Tom Hallion's going to need a chiropractor after ringing up Matt Diaz. That puts your spine in a bad position there. Very emphatic.
Ready now for the 2-0. And he missed again. Steve Pierce is on deck in the pitcher spot. Fly ball out to Bird. Moving a few steps to his left. 2 hands on it, and that's that. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Carlos Pena due to lead it off with the Cubs trailing by 3. Five o'clock, Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, Tom Skilling will have the WGN News at 5. Diaz stays in the game and plays right. And it will be Evan Meek trying to set things up for Joel Hanrahan in the ninth.
Evan Meek with a fastball, curveball, slider, cutter combination. Mostly two-seam fastballs that will tail into the right-hander and cut fastballs away from the right-hander. His average fastball last season, 95.1 miles per hour. At times he can be overpowering with his heater.
As Carlos Pena will lead off the 8th. Mike Lowe's watching with his father in Athens, Greece, cheering on the Cubs today. Lori and Bob watching WGN America in Del Mar, California. Big Cub fan Nikki Paulette in Phoenix, Arizona, cheering on the Cubs. Bob, Samantha says hello from Edmonton.
Hi, right back at you, Samantha.
Okay. I don't know if she said hello to you, but she says hello.
She says hello at some point every day.
Pena broke his bat. How about that? Right in the middle of the shift. Over the second baseman Walker and in front of the right fielder Diaz.
Carlos Pena is the kind of hitter that will get his share of broken bat hits because he's big and strong. He takes a big uppercut swing and this time gets sawed off, breaks his bat, but muscles it out there in front of Diaz for a leadoff single.
Cubs have 10 hits. Starting pitchers' lines today. Kevin Correa went 6, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. He walked 1, struck out 3. Diaz will make the catch. Brian Dempster 6 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs. He walked 4, struck out 7, and allowed 2 home runs. In fact, all the runs he allowed came on 2 home runs. Neil Walker with a grand slam, and Andrew McCutchen with a 2-run shot. And we've seen a parade of relievers since. Looks like we're going to see Jeff Samardzija in the 9th for the Cubs. And Soriano takes ball 1. The White Sox are pounding the Indians 14-0 in the 6th. Boston and Texas are tied at 2 in the 3rd inning. Home runs in that game: Ian Kinsler, Nelson Cruz. Soriano went around.
You know, Len, talking to a number of scouts down in the Cactus League, they all were of a similar mind that offense was going to be way down again this year. The emphasis was going to be on pitching, relief pitching, and defense. Situational hitting to find ways to score runs. I don't think any of that applies to the White Sox, however. I mean, they will pitch and they will catch the ball, but they are going to pound teams into submission this summer.
Lefties on the mound in Texas: Lester for the Red Sox, Wilson for the Rangers. National League: Rockies 3, Diamondbacks 1 in the 2nd. Ian Kennedy and Ubaldo Jimenez. Still 2-2 on Soriano. Minnesota opening up in Toronto tonight. Carl Pavano against lefty Ricky Romero. That opening day matchup. Jeremy Guthrie, David Price, as the Orioles and Rays. They'll play in Tampa. Soriano strikes out, 2 gone here in the 8th.
Looked like the cut fastball from Evan Meek. We'll get a chance to look at it on our Xfinity pitch tracks. Started on the outside corner, just slid off the plate far enough for Soriano to swing through it for strike 3. Well, as a hitter, everything about that pitch tells you it's a fastball. The rotation on the pitch looks like a fastball, but it has that sliding movement, almost like a very flat breaking ball, but he throws it as hard as his fastball. Very tough pitch to identify, tough pitch to hit.
Here's Darwin Barney with Pena still at first. He led off the inning with a single, but Soto then flied out. Soriano struck out. Seattle and Oakland tonight. Felix Hernandez 2-0 on opening day in his career, the reigning Cy Young winner, against, I think, a very interesting Cy Young candidate, a guy a lot of National League fans may not know, Trevor Cahill, who won 18 games with a .297 ERA for Oakland last year. The A's are going to pitch. We know that. They have a chance in that American League West. Angels beat Kansas City yesterday 4-2. Tonight, Dan Herron against Jeff Francis. Mike Pelfrey, Josh Johnson will go. Mets and the Marlins. That's a final home opener for the Marlins at, I think it's called Sun Life Stadium. They keep changing the name. Got a new park for next year's. Blake DeWitt's going to bat in the pitcher spot. And Jonathan Sanchez and Chad Billingsley, Giants and Dodgers later. The Dodgers with a 2-1 win last night.
You get the feeling when the Giants and Dodgers hook up this year, there's going to be a lot of 2-1, 1-0 ball games.
No question.
Two really good pitching staffs.
Cubs and Pirates will be right back at it early tomorrow. All day games on this first homestand as per usual. 2-2 count on Darwin Barney. We'd like to at least get one here in the 8th. Let's try to chip away at this 3-run deficit. Right down the middle, and Barney took it for strike 3. So we'll go to the 9th. Still 6-3 Pirates.
Season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Right-hander Jeff Samardzija will work here in the 9th. Struggled in limited action at this level. We saw some progress in spring training. Still learning how to pitch. Still working on those secondary pitches. He's got a good fastball. The stuff is there. It's just kind of putting it all together.
You know, and that's always a tough thing to do for a young pitcher. But more than anything else for Jeff Samardzija, I feel if he could just keep the ball down more consistently. He's got good tailing, sinking action on his fastball. He's got the good splitter when he keeps it down in the zone. But occasionally he mechanically doesn't get his arm in a good position to deliver the pitch. He gets underneath it and leaves a lot of fastballs and splitters up in the zone. That's when he can be hit hard. When he keeps the ball down, he doesn't get hit hard.
Hitter John Bowker for Evan Meek. 2-1.
Boy, that's a good sign. If he's missing down at the bottom of the strike zone, down below the bottom of the kneecaps, just off the outside corner, I think that's a good sign for Samardzija that his arm is in a good slot.
Castro with a good beat on it. Boy, he gets good jumps. Just has a nose for the ball, doesn't he?
Well, he does, and it's so instinctive, Len. I mean, a good middle infielder will tell you they go as much by the sound of the ball coming off the bat as anything else. He knew he had plenty of time to get back there and square up, face home plate, get behind the ball to make sure it didn't do anything tricky with the little bit of wind we have blowing here today. But you're right, he gets great jumps, he gets to the spot quickly.
Sometimes, you see a foul ball down a line and you see a middle infielder run a long way and just come up short. I think Starlin gets to a lot of those balls because his first step is always in the right direction. One to Tabata.
It's a lot more noticeable with outfielders because the ball's in the air longer, and especially from our vantage point, we can see the kind of a jump that an outfielder gets on a ball, but it's not always as noticeable for an infielder because it's much quicker. You're obviously much closer to home plate. Your reaction has to be lightning quick.
Here's another one. Just didn't really have a chance, but he got to the ball. Tabata with a hit. It's a small thing, but that's probably a ball he doesn't even have to throw.
Well, and I think with more playing time and more experience and getting to know the opposition a little bit better, that same play later this season against the Pirates, you might see him just pick up the ball and toss it back to the pitcher and say, all right, throw us a double play ball now.
But as a coaching staff, you'd rather have that, right? You'd rather tone a guy down, have him be aggressive and try to make every play than the other way around.
Absolutely.
The hero so far for the Pirates has been Neil Walker. Secondarily, their starter, Kevin Correa. If and when the Pirates get back to respectability and into contention, I think Neil Walker has a chance to be a huge star in Pittsburgh, not only because of his performance, but he's from the town where he plays. He's a Pittsburgh native. We both agree that it is a great baseball town. They just have not gotten anything to get excited about over the last almost now 2 decades. Good jump by Tabata. Ball kicks away from Soto. It'll be a stolen base because Tabata was going with the pitch.
Probably just as well that ball got away from Soto. Tabata had such a huge jump. You could see Neil Walker just moonwalked out of that left-handed batter's box. He was going to give his leadoff hitter an opportunity to steal second base, and pitch is in the dirt. Giovanni Soto just tries to pick it on the backhand side. He had no chance to get Tabata at second base.
Walker couldn't hold up. 2-1. Those are just standing behind the mound and watching at this point. Pirates decided not to have a competition for that 9th inning spot. Clint Hurdle right off the bat in spring training said, Hanrahan's my guy, Meek will pitch in the 8th. Ball 4, Walker is aboard.
Next up for the Pirates, center fielder Andrew McCutchen.
I don't know about you, Bob, but today has kind of had an unfortunately familiar feel to it. Seems like these are the kinds of games these two teams played a lot last year.
We talked about it at length last season, especially toward the end of the year when the pattern really became evident. The Cubs would jump ahead against the Pirates in a ball game, appear to have things well under control, and the offense pretty much would shut down at that point, and the Pirates would just peck away, and find a way to get back into the ball game. Now, the way they did it today, a couple of long balls, a grand slam, and a 2-run homer, but once again, the offense has been very, very quiet since the early going of this ball game.
I think part of the resiliency that Mike Quade talked about, you alluded to, bouncing back if bad things happen, not letting them snowball and letting a 2-game losing streak become an 8-game losing streak. But I think the game within a game, one of the important things that allows a lot of these teams to make these late inning comebacks is that your bullpen keeps you in it. And while 3 runs sounds like a lot in the bottom of the ninth, you don't want this thing to balloon to 6 or 7 here as the bases are loaded after back-to-back walks. Here comes Mark Riggins.
Well, I'm sure when we talk to Ryan Dempster after the ball game today or before the game tomorrow, he'll tell you that the base on balls were really his undoing today, even more so than the home runs. Now Jeff Samardzija having all kinds of problem finding that strike zone. And the real issue he runs into here, he's working his way right through the middle of the Pirates' order now with the bases loaded. Needs that ground ball right at one of his infielders.
Once again, stay tuned, the Chicagoland viewers, for the 5 o'clock news here on WGN. Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, Tom Skilling as the weather. Special thanks to Dan Roan for hosting Next Year Is Here. Busiest man in Chicago sports TV. Oh, 1-2 Overbay checked his swing and is down 0-2. And Mayor-elect Rahm Emanuel hanging in there here in the ninth. Getting a little muddy out there, even though it hasn't rained in a bit. So all the Pirates runners banging their cleats on each bag, trying to get the mud out of their spikes. Good block by Soto, 2-2.
A real nice stop that time by Gio. This early in the season, as a catcher, you're still trying to develop the confidence that the pitching staff has in you as a catcher. Jeff Samardzija in future outings, if he comes in with a runner at third base, he won't be afraid to bounce that splitter into the dirt because he knows his catcher's going to block it. A breaking ball that just kind of spun up there on the inside part of the plate. I believe that was the slider that Jeff Samardzija continues to try to refine.
Ooh, look out. Bat went one way, the ball went another.
I believe the ball went untouched, foul down the third base line, but the bat was caught right behind the first base dugout. Nice play down there by a fan.
Ready now for another 2-2. Castro, I think, caught it, and an easy double play. Well, that would have been a triple play if that ball had been hit with nobody out. So they double off Walker at second. Became an easy double play. Kind of hoping that'd been three. Been fun.
Yeah, that was not an easy play by Starlin. A ball off the bat of a left-handed hitter, tailing away from him and sinking quickly, but because of that quick first step that we talked about during that inning, he got to it easily and turned it into an inning-ending double play.
Blake DeWitt, pinch hitter, leading off the ninth against Joel Hanrahan, the Pirates' closer. So he throws hard, 96 on that fastball.
Yeah, like a lot of closers, Hanrahan is just a two-pitch guy. That fastball that sits in the mid to upper 90s also throws a very hard slider. You won't see him changing speeds. He's going to come right at opposing hitters.
6'4", 245 he's put together. DeWitt swings and misses 2-2. They got him from Washington in the middle of the 09 season. And he strikes out Blake DeWitt. Make sure you stop by the Cubs teams store. You can get, jerseys, caps, and the like, but you can also get winter caps for April and May, maybe even June.
That's a winter cap right there. Look at that. Yeah,
there you go. Look at that T-shirt.
Uh-huh.
I got more.
Nice stuff.
There we go. An old school Cubs logo. Very nice. They asked me to wear it today, but it's a little too cold. Make sure you stop by and check it out. Good stuff. You can't get my Tom Skilling Snuggie there, though. That's mine.
Especially because it's autographed.
Fastball missed. 98 that time on the heat.
with some tailing movement. It's not a four-seam straight fastball by any stretch of the imagination. He's got a lot of movement away from the lefties and into the righties.
Skies have brightened a little bit. The wind has shifted, still blowing out, but now it's more of a direct westerly wind. We're blowing out toward right. Kick the 3-2, ball 4. Well, Kosuke's done what a good leadoff man does. He's been up 5 times. He's gotten on base 3 times. Starlin Castro. That's the thing about this day, Bob. I mean, the Pirates have hit 2 balls out of the park. You trail by 3 here in the 9th, but 41 degrees, soggy, very humid, damp. It actually is kind of an offensive day in terms of the wind. So if you can get another guy on, get one up in the wind, you never know. 1 ball, no strikes. And the sun is coming out.
All right.
I think that's an omen.
Yes, it is.
The fans are cheering because the sun is out.
Because they haven't seen it for 6 months. Get up there.
Up the middle, diving stop Cedeno, and the flip is late. Everybody safe. Third hit of the day for Castro.
Cedeno gets to this ball only because he was cheating up the middle of the field a little bit. He thought he had the ball in his glove as he made that diving attempt, but the ball actually came out, rolled down near his thigh, and by the time he shovels onto Walker, Cubs have him at first and second with 1 out.
Marlon Byrd represents the tying run. Now, Bob, Marlon Byrd's been around the block. He's faced guys who throw 98, 99, 100. You got to recalibrate your swing, right? I mean, he was way late on that first pitch.
Yeah, even when you know a guy on the mound is throwing in the upper 90s, until you actually step in that batter's box and go through your normal pre-swing routine and realize, man, I am a little bit late on that fastball. I better get it ready just a little bit sooner. I think a big key for any hitter at any level, when a guy is throwing hard, you don't have to swing hard. You just have to swing quick. Get the bat into the hitting zone quickly and let the pitcher supply the power.
Got to figure it's another fastball. Yep, he got him. Looking. No way he was going to throw him anything but the hard stuff.
Boy, and a nasty strike 3 pitch, that tailing fastball that started off of the outside corner and comes right back to the corner. Doma does a nice job of framing the pitch. 3 fastballs, 3 strikes, the last one nearly unhittable.
So it's up to Ramirez with 2 outs. Just in case we go to the 10th. Carlos Marmol is up. The thing about Hanrahan, He's not even the hardest thrower in the division. You've got Aroldis Chapman flipping up 103, 104. One ground ball. This should do it. Cedeno knocks it down, but he'll flip it to Walker. And the Pirates beat the Cubs on opening day, their 5th consecutive opening day win. 6-3 the final. Walker with the big grand slam. That was the game winner. And the Pirates best the Cubs. We'll have more from Wrigley Field in a moment. Of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. You by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. And by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Now your final totals for the Pirates: 6 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, 7 left. For the Cubs, 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors, 10 stranded. Winning pitcher Kevin Correa in his first career opening day start. Ryan Dempster takes the loss to drop to 0-1. Joel Hanrahan with his first save. Took 3 hours and 3 minutes in front of 41,358. Today's Budweiser play of the game. Neil Walker's first career grand slam was a big one. Turned into a game-winning, game-turning home run that made it 4-2 Pirates. They would not trail the rest of the day. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Our next WGN broadcast of Cubs baseball will be Sunday when the Cubs host the Pirates in the final game of this series. We'll hit the air at 1 o'clock with the leadoff man. Ross Ohlendorf and Matt Garza on the mound. Once again, our final score today: the Pirates 6 and the Cubs 3. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. So now for my partner Bob Brenly, our entire great WGN crew here at Wrigley Field, this is Len Casper saying goodbye again for our Chicagoland viewers. Stay tuned at 5.